that's real good.
We are back at it again. Welcome to Generation C, where we dive into culture, creation, and connection in our school's community. You are joined by your presenters, Tarika Pelwa and
Dalcia.
And let's dive into what makes our school so special.
Also, don't forget to tune in to Generational C on My Zone Socials at 2 p.m. as well as DSTV channel 285 at 5 p.m. and GoTV channel 25 as well.
Oh, that's real good.
Hey guys, it's Dalcia again. So now here in this segment, we'll be handing over the mic to one of our talented students who will be interviewing a teacher here at St. George's. And not only will this interview include the teacher's personal story and teaching style, but it will also include some of their fun facts about their time spent here at the school. Mark, it's all yours.
Today I'll be interviewing Mr. McNally. Mr. Mac, you teach geography, business, and economics. Tell us more about your educational journey and how you ended up teaching at our school.
Yeah, it started a while ago. Started teaching in 1995 at Aishipena. It's a secondary school in Katatura. And I stayed there for 10 years. At that time, the college was developed and it was still just the A block and the B block. And they were looking for teachers. So I thought, it's time for a change. And so I applied. And at that time, it was still Mrs. Hanekom that was the head. And she offered me the position. And yes, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Well, you're obviously a very experienced teacher, so I'm curious, what's your teaching style? Because you don't teach me. And how do you engage with students inside and outside the class?
Yeah, I like the teacher-centered approach. I also like to play, and especially outside the class. Inside the class, I like to give them choices and chances. Sometimes it backfires. Yeah, but my whole approach is to try and give them the responsibility of not doing what they were supposed to do. So in short, that's basically it.
Yeah. And so speaking of those, experiences and opportunities, what would you say is your proudest moment as a teacher?
I had a couple, but this one was the top. I forgot the learner's name, and he was an adult already, having children and so on. And he came up to me and he said, "Do you remember me?" And vaguely I did, and I said, "I think, but if you share with me the name, I think I will." And he said, "It is because of you that I achieved what I achieved." And I thought, wow. And I didn't even thought I would make an impact. Yes, that was one of them. You labor and you think you labor in vain, but there are some returns at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't even teach me, and you have had a very profound impact on my life, Mr. Mac, so I'm always grateful for that. But is there a fun fact you want to tell us about yourself? I know we call you the daddy of our school.
Yeah, I love to joke around with that. Sometimes. I'm afraid of the dark. And at home, there must be a light somewhere.
Yeah.
Coming from me, love camping, the outdoors. Yeah. I struggle sometimes if it is completely dark. Yeah. I have the tendency to make myself afraid.
Yeah. And what would you say is your favorite part about teaching? Because, there's a lot of different aspects of teaching, whether it's actually preparing the content or helping the students understand it or just interacting with the students.
Interacting. I love telling stories. The marking and the preparation, that can sometimes take the bad part of me. Very tiresome. But interacting with the students, that's me.
Yeah, and speaking of those tiresome moments, obviously teaching can be very challenging. How would you say you approach the challenges in teaching? Is there a specific strategy you use? And, just challenges in the classroom overall?
Yes, it differs, especially with my younger students. I normally give them the choice. You come in with your homework or you stay outside until it is done. With my senior students, I'm a bit more lenient there, and I tell them whatever you do here, it is not for the school, and it is basically for yourself. Yeah. So I let them also do their homework, give them another chance. But primarily I'm a bit more stricter with the younger ones than with the senior ones.
Yeah. And, speaking of the classroom atmosphere, what do you think makes our school's teaching approach unique, and how do you aim to contribute to that atmosphere in the classroom specifically?
I simply love our school slogan, where they say every student matters. I want to say everybody matters. And to me that is simply just great. The fact that we are big on second chances, we rarely show somebody the door. We will really sit and make sure whether we have exhausted all the different possibilities to make sure that student get a chance to fulfill his or her dreams.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mack, for being such an incredible teacher at our school, and thank you for being a light in the darkness. And so now back to you, Tariq.
Oh, that's real good.
Good day, viewers, and welcome to this week's edition of Erongo Talk. My name is Leandria Mouwer.
I am your host, Frida Moloto.
I am Emerita Shikesho.
I am Patricia Napo.
Now, as usual, we bring you the latest news, some sports news, as well as the weather and tides.
Om die eerste wen te kry, is 'n goeie gevoel, man.
Is that the goal, Joy?
Yes, that is currently the goal.
Phenomenal. I feel nice, creative team.
To catch up for more news stories, visit our online channel, oneup2.com, or you can visit our website at www.erongo.com.na. Alternatively, you can check out our DSTV channel, channel 285, and on GoTV, channel 25.
Oh, that's real good.
Hi guys, Tariq Kapelwa here. So let's dive into something a little bit more interesting. This segment covers student spotlight. So this is basically a student that really stands out in our school. And yes, let's hear what he has to say.
Thank you, Tariq. I'm Portia Ikela, and on my right, I'm joined by Emmanuel Mugweni, but known by the students as Meno. He's one of our senior SRCs, head of the finance portfolio, and deputy head of the sports and culture portfolio. But before I get too wordy with it, can you please introduce yourself and tell us what makes you stand out here at St. George's?
Okay, so as she said, my name is Emmanuel Mugweni. I go by Meno around the school, and I think one thing that makes me stand out is my work ethic, because I'm willing to always put in a lot of hard work, and I'm also quite a caring person. I care for the people around me. That's
Yeah. So speaking of standout performances or standout accomplishments, can you please just run us through any accomplishment of yours, whether that being sports, extracurriculars, or academic?
I would think my biggest achievement at this school was my first Classic Clash. I came into the team as a small boy. I was quite afraid I wouldn't make the team. As a shock, I made the team, and as a shock, I actually started in the match. I played right back, out of position, but I actually played quite good, and we ended up winning the game 2-0. And I was quite happy that I kept a clean sheet, and that has to be one of my biggest achievements.
Definitely, from zero to hero, Meno.
Yes.
So can you also tell us about any initiatives that you are involved with at the school, such as your SRC role?
Yeah, as you said, I'm SRC head of finance. Of course, finance has a big part to play with the SRC. I'm talking organizing the Valentine's dance, organizing the carnival. I think I've played a big role in the fact that those events encourage social gatherings, which brings the school together as a whole. Also, not to mention the other schools in Windhoek that are able to come to these events, creating an absolutely wonderful atmosphere. And I think I've contributed in that department.
Definitely. So, like, what are the lessons you take from being part of the SRC or just taking part in these initiatives?
I think one of them is teamwork, because I have a very strong team. My head boy, my head girl, all of my colleagues. I think over time we managed to work together, and I'll be honest, we're a very strong group. I love all of my SRCs, and yeah, I've learned to care. I've also learned patience with people, which is a very important thing to have in life.
Yeah. Definitely. So what is one opportunity that the school has provided you that you are very proud of?
I think it's also the opportunity to be a senior SRC, because I'll be honest, last year I was quite afraid that I wouldn't make it as senior SRC, but they gave me the opportunity to make it as a senior SRC, and I think I've stepped up in that role.
Yeah. So definitely I think I can relate to you on that level, because I'm also an SRC.
Yeah.
I can also relate to the fact where you say you connect with your fellow SRC. I have a first-hand account of Menno. He's an awesome guy. He treats people with patience too. So I know it can't all be smooth sailing through being an SRC, being part of soccer, all of these opportunities. What are some of the challenges you've come across in those two regards?
I think it's adapting because of the workload. Like, to balance school, SRC and everything, I think one thing you should put into your mind is creating a schedule for yourself and being obedient and actually respecting that schedule, because I go home, I do the things I'm supposed to do, I get my studies done, I keep up with the SRC, I make sure I'm at training all of the time. So just keeping a schedule and also respecting that schedule.
Definitely. So I think any great person or any standout student always has an inspiration, or basically just an inspiration of why they should do a particular thing. So if you have any, who inspires you or what inspires you to keep doing what you do?
I'll be honest, it's probably my dad, because my dad is in the medical field. Obviously, from a young age, I've gotten the opportunity to visit his practice, his lab, and he honestly exposed me to so much of the medical field that now I'm really sure that I want to go into the medical field. And yeah, he inspires me. He's quite a great person, I'll be honest.
Definitely. Yeah. So I think getting into the medical field is something that's really hard and competitive to do. And you need to keep up with your academics and then keep up with your sports and your SRC. So for anyone watching, what's advice that you would give them to balance all of these things?
Like, as I've said, creating a schedule for yourself, I think that's really important. Like, when I go home after training, after school, I make sure I at least get my hours of sleep in, maybe 1 hour of sleep in the afternoon, that at least 4 hours of studying during the night, because I think studying in the night, zero distractions, it's actually quite efficient. So yeah, creating a schedule, as I've said, and never giving up, to be honest.
Yep.
Just don't give up on yourself.
Cool. And then I think you already mentioned one of them being your goal to go to medical school.
Yeah.
Is there anything else or any other goals you have maybe in regards to soccer, or just any other goals that you have?
In regards to soccer, of course, going to university, being a freshman, I want to try to make the university football teams. Of course, that'll be a challenge, so I think I'll find my way to a club first, then find my way into the university team. So that's one of my goals once I get to university, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for sharing your experiences and your opportunities that St. George's has provided for you and being a standout student for today. I hope that everybody at home can be inspired by his dedication and drive to go to medical school, to want to join a football team in university. I hope everyone is inspired.
Oh, that's real good.
Flex is taking on a new look. A new feel, and a new location. Don't miss Flex DSTV channel 285, GoTV channel 25 every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, where we flex your mind and your muscles.
Oh, that's real good.
Portia here. One of our unique things that we have here at St. George's is our art room, where our art students get to showcase their artworks and put them up on display for other students to see. Dalcia and Tariq will be telling you a bit more about all the artworks in that art room.
Okay, so now we're in the art room, and now we're about to ask Tariq, who takes art, on why he does it, and we're about to also showcase some of the art that are in the art classroom. So, Tariq, why did you take art, first of all?
I took art because, okay, well, number one, I was bored, but I'm not letting anyone else know that. But I also took art because I find that it's a really good way to express yourself. We live in a world where you can express yourself in so many different ways, whether that be with dance, with fashion. The ways you can express yourself are endless. And I'd like to take advantage of that by taking art.
What should students know before taking art?
What students should know before taking art is, number one, you really need a lot of time on your hands. Art is really not an easy subject. You need to be able to hand in projects on time. I can't tell you how many times I've had to skip hangout sessions with my friends because I was like, nah guys, I'm doing art. So yeah, you really need a lot of time on your hands. It does take up a lot of your personal time as well, because if you're not studying, you will be busy doing an art project. So it really, you do need a lot of time on your hands, but you also need to learn how to not be very hard on yourself. I take art, but I have some horrible art pieces that I've done, and you really shouldn't be hard on yourself. Art is also something that you continuously learn from, and I find joy in the fact that you are continuously improving and getting better, and you will have times where you'll fall short, but that is completely okay.
Speaking of falling short, as we all know, we're teenagers, and procrastination is like the biggest issue.
It really is.
So what's the craziest thing you've done to hand in an art project on time?
The craziest thing I've done to hand an art project on time, I was on holiday this one time, and my family decided to go to the north, and me being me, I decided to go with them. I completely forgot about this art project when we came back and school was starting the next day. So in the car, on the way to school, I had my pieces of paint out, I had my palettes out, and I was out here trying to paint on the way to school in the car.
So was that like one of your worst art?
It was one of my worst art pieces of all time.
Okay, speaking of favorite and least favorite art pieces, do you have any of those right here, and do you mind showing us?
Yeah, a lot of my favorites are at home, but I think I have like two that are my favorite and least favorite.
Okay.
So I'd say this was something I painted last year. The medium was watercolor. What we had to do was paint anything unique that had to do with flower, flora, anything like that. My least favorite art piece is actually right on top of us. It's this one right up here. So the reason it's my least favorite is because I was procrastinating it. I found myself up at 4 a.m. doing this whole thing at the dinner table. But what I really love about it, despite that it's my least favorite, is that it does showcase who I am. You'll see that there's a hockey stick at the bottom. I'm a hockey player myself. I love suits. Spotify is like my most used app. And if you look in the middle, that is a side profile that I did myself. You'll find that on top of that, it's written God, a little cross, and an infinity sign. Just Glory be to him. Glory be to the Most High. On top of that, you'll find 3 medals. Those are for debating. I've participated in the Inter-House Debating Championships for 3 years in a row. And yeah, that's pretty much everything there is about me. Those 2 paintings in the top right and left corners are actually the first art pieces I've ever done. So, yeah.
Okay, you seem to be a very creative person.
Thank you.
What's your favorite and least favorite thing about taking art?
My favorite thing about taking art is that it's really rewarding. You know, I did mention that the hours are long. It does require your blood, sweat, and tears. But once you're done with an art piece, you have that moment where you step back from everything and you just admire all the work that you've done. And you soon realize that all the hard work, all the hours that you put in were worth it in the end. My least favorite thing about it is I have to sort of skip out on hangouts with my friends sometimes in order to complete art projects. But yeah, it is really fun at the end of the day. I love it.
Okay. Well, since you now do art, do you have any artists that you look up to?
I have a lot of artists that I look up to. Many of them are actually high schoolers, such as myself. I look up to this one guy called Daltri Matutele. He specializes in digital art. He's an amazing artist. I think you guys should really look into him. I know an artist called Zara Rukoro, a very special person in my life. She does floral paintings. She's really good at painting flowers. I know of a person called Faith Nepembe. She also does canvas art, which I think is really amazing. But if there's any famous artist that I look up to, that would be Pablo Picasso. He has this thing called Cubism, which is an art medium, not an art medium, it's an art style where you sort of use triangles and shapes to structure your art piece.
Okay, that's very interesting. Why should more students take art?
More students should take art. Well, I'm not going to say they should take art. I'd say they should really just give it a try. You find that it really allows you to express yourself in so many different ways. A good example I could really give you is that our art teacher, she would give us like usually the same art piece to do. And when we hand it in, every single person's art looks different and it's all unique. So I find that most students should take art to really just showcase their uniqueness, but also to impress themselves. I used to really be horrible at art. I still fall short here and there. But I found that if I really do put effort into an art piece, and again, as I mentioned earlier, you take that step back, it really is rewarding. And I find that so many people should just feel that sense of reward once in their lives.
Okay, that's very inspiring. Do you have a favorite art medium? And if so, what are they and why are they your favorite?
Okay, so just to give a quick rundown, art mediums are what we use to create our art. So you'll see things like acrylic paint, pencil, all of that. My favorite art medium when I started out was HB pencil. I find that it was really easy to start with as you get into art. That should be like your level 1. Another thing that I really love is oil pastel. If you're making an art piece that you really need blending, I'd really suggest using oil pastel. And acrylic paint is amazing. The only problem is it doesn't blend really well, but when you find that you master acrylic paint, it really is a rewarding experience.
Okay, thank you so much, Tariq.
Thank you.
Would you like to show us why some of these were made? Do you know the origins of them, when they were made, and stuff like that? Just give us a quick tour of the art room as well.
These little art pieces behind us are a project called Me. So the main goal of this was to see who you are as a person, as an artist. My favorite one of all time is this one. This was made by someone called Anushka Erasmus. She's in my class. It really showcases who she is, what she likes, what her interests are. And I find that she portrayed that perfectly with the way she structured her art piece. You can find that she loves Jeeps, loves fruits, loves art, loves sleep and Netflix and God and all of that. So I find that she really portrayed hers the best, and it really just showcases who you are as a person.
I really love this art room. It seems like you guys really express yourselves very well, and it really does help somebody to get to know you through all of these pictures and paintings and stuff. So yeah, guys, that's the wrap for the art room. So yeah, bye.
Bye.
Oh, that's real good.
Okay, so what we have here behind me is this assignment that the grade 9s had to do, where they created self-portraits. The medium was pen and HB pencil. Here, as you can see, they're right behind me, and they look awesome. So, what we have behind me here right now is actually one of my favorite assignments that we did, called This Is Me, where, as I explained earlier, this was a art piece assignment where you had to show yourself and express yourself in art. As you can see, many students did a really awesome job. I know that the student loves planes, the student loves visiting places and just admiring everything. This student loves traveling. His name's Andrew Potgieter. He loves travel and sightseeing and taking in nature. So it was really one of my favorite art pieces that we did, because we really allowed ourselves and each other to see what our passions are and just allowed ourselves to express ourselves in art. One of my favorite things about this is that it allows you to express yourself with how you do your art instead of expressing yourself with words, which I think is really, really beautiful.
Oh, that's real good.
So guys, we're sad to say, but unfortunately this is goodbye. However, don't forget to catch us on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 on Thursdays at 5:30 p.m.
And also, don't forget to check out our one-pagers on the Namibian Sun, Republican, and also the AZ. So from me, Dalsia, and Tariq, it's goodbye. But for now, until next time.